Good morning, everybody. Get ready with me as I go to manage my property. Oh, it's not mine, but the property that I'm managing. I am dressed for success. No, I have to clean the office and take out the trash, and I have vendors coming, and so we don't have maintenance, so I have to run around. And I tried to be the fancy manager, but as we're understaffed, I just need to be able to run around in the forest, you know? A girl's gotta do what you gotta do. Obviously I'm not going like this, but hold on. Cat, get out of here. Goodness, it is chaos. Welcome to the morning with the cats. So today we're gonna talk about the cats, how to move around. If you have multiple animals, if you want to leave the state, leave the country. I have not left the country with them yet, but moving from California to Oregon with that many cats was a feat. What you want to do is be organized, which, duh, but you want to be organized for the cat's sake. If you are chaotic, they're going to freak out. Look at this cat. Look at this cat. Get out of here. Close the door. He's already chaos. But what I mean is that if you're like, I don't know when or where or how, and you're trying to do it with animals, it's just gonna not work out very well from them. They're gonna start peeing on your shit. So having a plan to move your stuff, obviously, just like, I don't know if you're using movers or if you're gonna use your own elbow grease, have that plan, have it packed up the day before. Don't be packing the day of. So that way because cats know, animals know, dogs will know. Dogs, I think, are a little bit easier than cats. Cats are very spoiled. I love them, but they're spoiled princesses. And it is partially my fault, okay? I know, I spoiled them. So, you definitely, because they're gonna know what's going on. So you wanna be efficient. That is my theme, efficient and empathetic. And so you want to be efficient, be packed up. And I made the mistake, because I had to leave in a rush, of putting them in small carriers for 8 hours. So they were very mad. And I felt really bad, because once we drove and I thought like, oh, let me be humane and give them a potty break and some water, then all hell broke loose and there was a cat underneath the seat and I couldn't get them. And then I had to bend over because I put water in the front driver's seat, feet area. And then when I bent over to get the cat, my head went in the water. So I baptized myself in cat water. It was chaos. And so what I've learned is you need to give them the 5-star transport experience. And so what I've done is I've got 3 dog cages that I don't really like to cage animals, but if we're transporting them so that way we don't give them up, so they don't lose their home, I'm okay with that. So they use the cage right now as like a little den to snuggle. But I have 3 of them. So my plan is to put a litter box and a small food water tray, and then their blankets and toys. And then I have 6 animals, and they kind of like Noah's Ark. It'll be Natasha's Ark. They like to hang out with certain ones. So like the brother and sister, the mom, the daughter, and then my sister's cat and my first cat, kind of like boyfriend and girlfriend. So that's my plan to move them next. Now, out of the country, I haven't done, but there is definitely a lot of, if it's already difficult for humans to go across the border, it's a little more pricey, a little bit more paperwork, a little bit more vet visits, a little bit more doctor documentation. So I have only researched Hawaii and France, because those are the 2 places I'm thinking of moving next. So Hawaii is actually officially rabies free, so that's pretty cool. So that means that they have to quarantine. However, if you just pay $100, at least when I researched, $153, $183 per animal, they don't have to quarantine. So, ooh, I'm burning my hair. that's pretty cool. I just didn't have that money at the time, but you have like paperwork. It's on their website, on the state government's website. So I printed that off, and you do need to get it filled out by a specific type of vet. I think it's like government certified. I don't know the exact name of it, but it is a specific type of vet, and it says it on the application. And they do need to have, it's a long process. It's not just like, okay, we get shots today, go tomorrow. No, I think at least for, I think it was Hawaii, they need like the 6-month one and then a year one. So they have to be fully vaccinated. So if your cats are already vaccinated, or animals, then you're good, just within the time frame. But if you just adopted the animal, or like me, I stopped once I realized they're gonna be indoor animals, which I know, guys, don't be mad at me. They just weren't going outside because my neighbors and all those things, I doubt that they're doing the right thing for their animals. They won't even pick up their waste. So we don't really go out beyond being supervised. I do vaccinate them. They're just a little bit behind because they're indoor cats, and I've even had vets say like, well, they're indoor, they don't need it. So there's that. And then I'm sure there's an application fee too. France, I think, was pretty similar. I don't know if you could pay to get out of the quarantine though. So I also have looked into flight transportation, and that is the reason that I have not done it. Besides the money, I don't know that my pets will be treated the best. And I know some people will say that their pets were fine. I just am a little bit more anxious when it comes to my pets. And I know that if you want to calm them down, like give them CBD or something, that's not good for them either, because their heart rate will be lower, and then they're up in the air with the air pressure. I'm not a scientist, okay, as you can tell. And it's not good for them either. So I haven't flown 6 animals, but I know my brother did across the country, and he just bought them plane tickets, because you're allowed your emotional support animal. Also, you're allowed to just buy a plane seat and it's yours, right? So you can just, if you have 2 cats, because you're not a crazy cat lady like me, you can just get 2 seats. And I kind of thought of doing that because I have double-decker backpacks, so I have 3 of those. But again, I don't think that's humane to the cats, for even if it's a 6-hour flight, or it's just too confined. There are regulations for like carriers. The ones that I have single ones as well, and I think they're from Sherpa, I think that's the name. It says that they are airline certified, like the space and the size and everything, that like the cat or the animal has space to stand up in, and then can fit underneath the seat. But that's using them as your carry-on. So if you need a carry-on because you're moving out of the country to carry your stuff, I recommend just buying a seat and putting them there. I mean, it just depends on your budget too and your beliefs, but I do believe our pets deserve the best. So that is how I've traveled out of the state, and the research I've done on traveling out of the country with multiple animals. I think with more than 5, it's considered commercial. I mean, which makes sense. I'm trying to start, I have started a sanctuary in my living room, so I'm trying to expand, and that's why I'm doing property management and real estate, is so I can, well, as I'm starting out, afford them, but then also to eventually, I have a vision of acreage and a catio that's bigger than my house, and a garden, and then like a beehive and everything. So I'm pretty excited about my future and what my business is gonna bring to, like, beyond. Obviously, I'm gonna go shopping. But I'm excited to see what I can actually do with that money. I do want to make those animal sanctuaries and teach yoga, and just do the right thing. But I'm almost done doing my hair. I'm gonna get a jacket the jacket I wanted. Came out of the dryer with the string out the hood. I was like, I don't have time to thread this through right now. So I hope you guys have a great day, and just if you have any questions or suggestions about how to transport multiple animals across borders, please leave it in the comment section. You have a great day.